let's have some single Sundays. That's right, it's single Sundays. And if you don't know what that means that we take our poll, pick it up, read it, and rank it. And then we also decide what we're going to do with our poll and have a special guest. It's single Sundays, so we end up taking our poll, figure out what we're liking about the poll, what we're not liking about the poll, and what we've picked up a few issues of that we ended up liking. And if we like it good enough, we can add it to the poll. So we don't have anything yet to be added to the poll. We ended up liking what we end up having right now. Haven't dropped anything, haven't gone over with anything. One that is on the radar for adding is Chip Zdarsky's Captain America. That's one that's on the radar. We're 2 issues in. Gotta go one more issue before we end up deciding. So we got a 3-issue rule, and that's what we end up following. If we're liking it, we'll keep on going with it. If we're not liking it, we won't go with it. So a random pickup will be one more of Chip Zdarsky's Captain America. Back to what we have for our poll this week. We have 4 issues right here. That's right, a top 4. I like the theme of that because 4 is my favorite number, and we keep on going that way. So let's take this single Sunday and find out what we have this week. So coming in at number 4 is issue 9 of New Gods. So it's important to say after issue 12, this series is going to be on a hiatus. They're going to take a little break to work on other projects that they end up having. Just don't have a timetable of when yet. It's okay. It has a good mix that we end up having going on with it. And there is some progression that's going on. But it was only number 4 because there's a little lack of luster out of all the books. Coming at number 3 is a random pickup that we ended up picking up. And that is the all-new Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider number 1. So it seems like everything's going her way. So is she going to have the Peter luck? Well, I'm curious to find out. She's got a new rock band going over with it, and something happens to someone that she's ended up testing for joining that rock band. Nice. It was okay. It's a solid poll. I did end up liking it, so we'll probably take another flyer on it. Like I said, we got that 3-issue flyer rule. Why, hi, little guy. Buddy, let's talk about this. You can't be taken to camp. No. Back to the show. But what we have is that number 2 is probably the book that got the most popular of this entire week, that had the most buzz. What was that? Well, that's issue 11 of Absolute Batman. Get in Bane's Origins. And honestly, it was very, very good. I ended up enjoying it a lot. And when you see number 1, you understand why it's number 1. But it was honestly a tie with it, with number 1 and number 2. But ultimately, I ended up going with the other one that we ended up going for the number 1. But the Origins of Bane, and it was a nice, solid story, had action and everything that we ended up looking for in this series. So let's build up number 1 here. It is issue number 5 of its series. It's one that's not going to be surprisingly to you guys that it's number 1 if you're following the channel. And it's part of the Thunderverse. What is that? Well, that is Thundercats issue number 5. Well, specifically, Thundercats Lost issue number 5. So this dives in, and we end up following over with what's going on with Bengali. And I know it's kind of interesting because we don't have a Bengali anywhere in this art, but this also had a killer variant cover that I'm hoping I'm picking up. I went over to my LGS and I went over trying to see if they could order one, and they're giving their best shot. And if you're happen to be in the town of Manistee, go visit Rubber Sanctuary. You'll be able to pick up your single issues there. But But back to what we ended up going. This story ends up having where we end up finding out what's going on with Bengali and what ended up happening after the first issue of Lost. So it's a nice way that comes over with it. It's a nice, compelling story and action, and it's part of the Thunderverse. So I ended up loving it because you know how I am with my Thundercats. So that's what made it ended up being number one. If you're a non-Thundercat fan, or you're not following Thundercats Lost, then I guess Absolute Batman would be your pick. But for me, it is Thundercats Lost. So, those are singles issues. So these are hot singles that we ended up reading this week. We ended up having New Gods coming in at number 4. Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, number 1, coming in at number 3 for the week. Number 2 is taken by Absolute Batman, issue number 11. And the number 1 pick is Thundercats Lost. Ended up explaining what happened with Bengali. I'll include a picture right here of the variant that I'm hoping I'm picking up. Because honestly, it's a killer art. I love it. And you can't have too many of the covers. I mean, look at those awesome covers that we have. Captain Planet, Transformers, all the goodness. But that's what we ended up having. Did you read something that was good this week? What you ended up thinking? What was your top read of the week? Let us know down in the comments down below. Also, if you're liking the content that we're putting out, like, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon to be notified whenever we come out with new content. And if you get an opportunity to pick these up over at your local comic book shop, or if you end up going online to be able to pick them up, let us know where you get your single issues. Because it'd be kind of cool finding out other places that people end up picking up their singles. So with that said, until next time, we'll see you later.